Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Ashlyn, you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank
Yeah,
you.
all good.
So, yeah, how's everything going? I suppose that's the first place to start. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, like the first few weeks I was like vibing. I was like, yeah, haven't had time off in 10, 15 years. Like, I'm doing great. Shut everyone out. Just like calm, no noise. And then like I hit the fourth week and I was like, yo, I'm starting to really feel this quarantine. Like the walls are just like closing in a bit. But I'm feeling all right. Yeah, I'm trying to like do little things to keep like my mind refreshed and active. So my wife and I just moved into a new house the last few months. So it's like I have so many projects. We just built a home gym like in our
Nice.
garage, and it's so clean, it's sexy. So I'm like happy, like I have a little escape. And I'm building like a babe cave up in my loft, like this like
Sick.
really sexy vibey cave where I can get my tattooing done, my hair done. I'm not a gamer, but like I love to watch like TV and like stuff really loud. So I'm just like getting all that sorted. So I'm keeping myself busy, like some days suck and some days like it's hard to stay motivated, but I'm getting by. How about you guys?
I want to,
Yeah,
I
no,
want
all
to
good.
invite to this babe cave. It feels like my
Yeah.
ideal place. I want to live there.
Well, come on, let's go. You're invited.
As soon as
Was
I,
that like a blank canvas then, or like did you get to design it all from scratch, or?
Yeah, I'm working with a close friend who lives in New York City, who's an interior designer, and he's just like mocking up all of these like designs and figuring out what I like, and he just gets me, so it makes like the process so smooth and easy. And he knows I'm like modern, clean, sexy, a little nudity, but like tasteful. So like we're hitting it right now pretty hard, but it's
Nice.
keeping me busy.
it
What's
sounds
the grand opening going to be?
Well, I mean, I clearly like when this is all lifted, you guys are gonna have to come over and check it out.
For
it
sure.
feels like a documentary in the making.
Yeah, it looks like we could have like a tattoo party. I
Oh,
see all your tattoos.
we can do it. We can have a tattoo. We can.
Love. Right now, I've got like my lights set up, my tables. Like I'm ready. I'm ready for this thing to hit and be done, and then I can just start getting back to normal life.
What's
Do
the
you have like one tattoo artist that you bring in, or?
Yeah, I have a buddy that is a close friend of mine. His name is Rolly T Rex, and he was on season 10 of Ink Masters. He's grew up in Miami based guy, but he lives in Orlando. It's just he's so good. He's so clean. He's been doing a majority of my tattoos in my adult life, so I've been really loving it.
Nice.
what's the next tattoo? What's the next tattoo in your home studio going to be?
Yeah, I'm finishing my legs, which has been quite the process. So I need to finish my right leg a little bit. So we're mocking up a few things right now. It's like a marine life situation, an old dive helmet with like a whale. I love like what a whale symbolizes. Has a lot to do with like creativity and like rebirth and like spirituality. So all my tattoos have such like a deep meaning, so I like to really like invest in the story. So yeah, I'm like really hype about getting this really underwater theme like on my legs.
I'm sure you've been asked this a million times, but how the hell does it feel not to play football every day?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Like I can sit here and say how shitty it is and how like it's hard not doing your craft, and like people don't realize like how much time we put into our body
Mm.
to keep it at like mock like peak performance. Like so much time and energy is invested in our body.
Mm.
So like right now just like taking time off is so foreign. It's like hard in quarantine to really like keep your body fit and just ready to fly, like when all this stuff is lifted. So it's hard for us, right? Like running in the street, like that's not like what we do, you know, like lifting every single day makes us like heavy and bulky. That's just like not what we do. We need to feel, we need to play, like we need to play. So it's hard to like find ways to keep kicking over because you've invested so much time. Like we as professional soccer players should be climbing right now. Like we're supposed to be at the Olympics in a few months. So all that work we've put into preparation kind of just like is out the window a little bit. So I guess like I'm trying to find like the best ways possible to keep ticking over, but I don't like to like waste time. Like I always gotta like the truly greats figure out something every day to do to improve. So I've really just like dived into mindset and like winning mentality and like really figuring out what great leaders do to move their teammates. And it's been a good reflection time for me as an athlete of my age. You know, I'm a captain of our Orlando Pride team, and last year we came in last place. So I'm just like self-reflecting and reevaluating my leadership methods and like how I can be better, like to serve the team and my coaching staff. So I've been calling a lot of really influential people who have clearly nailed down the dynasty of leadership and a winning culture. So I've really been listening to a ton of podcasts, reading a ton, like watching a lot of videos, studying what moves people at the highest level, whether it's a Navy SEAL or a crazy inventor, you know, like how these incredible people, you know, change the game in their particular field. So that's kind of where I've been diving into the last few weeks. It's been awesome.
Is there one thing that stands out from like one bit of advice or, you know, one message that stands out from what you've been reading?
Yeah, I think there's so many like different things, but I like for some reason I've been really diving into this quote of how you do anything is how you do everything. And it's not just about being a fantastic athlete on the field, but like how I do everything, how I serve my community, how I serve my family, how I serve my wife, my dogs, like my inner circle. So I've been, you know, just trying to be a better person at the end of the day, like through all this, you know, this pandemic has really taught me about being grateful and gratitude and humility and all these important values you sometimes like lose sight of when like life gets to be so fast. Because my life is so fast, right? Like I'm here, I'm there, I'm traveling there, I have games here, I have national team here, I've got Olympic preparation here, I've got club team. Like I never get the time to just like sit, be grounded, like reevaluate like what is important. So this has been like a little slap in the face to figure out like, hey, maybe you need to spend more time with your family. Like, hey, you should be checking in. I'm trying to call my mom more. You know, like I need to be better at all aspects of my life, just not on the football field.
Is there one thing that you've learned about yourself the most during this whole time?
Yeah, I don't have patience. Like I like really struggle with patience, you know, like when you have to like sit in some crap and evaluate things and you're stuck inside, like you can't just like pick up and go to the fields. You can't just pick up and go to, you know, like your favorite coffee shop. So like when things are hectic around the house, I can't just like pick up and leave. You know, I gotta like sit in some heavy situations and, you know, the dogs running around and having to clean and do stuff I don't really love to do. Like I am learning patience and I definitely need to be better.
But I suppose that's what, when your life is so, you know, over the past few years especially, it's been constantly 24/7, just chaotic in a beautiful way. And I suppose you get accustomed to that, right? And to everyone else it seems crazy, but to you that's the norm. That's the level you're at.
Obviously none of us know like what it's going to feel like when we're through all this, but how do you think things will change for you in terms of like your approach and stuff like that, taking all that stuff that you've learn and listen to, and how do you then apply that?
Yeah, I think that's the trick, right? Like, words are words, like all this, leadership and, trying to shift culture in an organization and in a team. It's like, it's just a bunch of loaded words. So it's like, how do you apply that to action? I think that is going to be the key, when we step in, and, sports could be completely different. And I'm so used to interacting with our community and with our fans. And like, I'm just really interested to see how I'm going to be thrown into this like new world that's going to be the new norm for a while. So, I mean, that's a great question. I'm hoping that all of this is worth it, that I learn a lot about myself and who I am as a person and as a leader. And I hope I can turn some of these good qualities that I think I'm progressing, and I'm learning, and put into action. So that's going to be the key for me, is when stuff isn't going right, that's when character is truly revealed. So, now is the time to really step into a really uncomfortable place and dive into character building and dive into mindset, because it's easy to sit around and not do things because no one's watching. It's easy to make excuses right now. So I really got to hold myself accountable for every action and everything I choose to do and choose not to do. Yeah. Hold on, really? Sorry. Big old mastiff just trying to tear through the door. Get the poor DHL delivery guy.
Have you got 2 dogs? Is that right?
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs. I've got an English bulldog and a cane corso mastiff.
Nice. I bet that at least they're keeping you busy during this.
For sure. Yeah. One's a puppy, so my bulldog is she just gets these zoomies, and she's just around the house, bulldozing everything and knocking everything over. And I'm like,
how's your dog, Keen?
Yeah, he's good. I've just rescued a dog from a shelter.
Oh, that's nice.
He's cool.
I love that.
He's cool. He's just scared of everything. He just has no idea what's going on.
Pandemic puppies, man. They're the best way to go right now.
Talking about the journey, and we're all on this kind of whole different road through our careers and stuff. But how would you describe your journey? Because obviously there's so many highs, so many lows, ridiculous highs, and I'm sure ridiculous lows. But how do you sort of sum it up?
I think journey is such an interesting word, and my path has been very cool, and I think every bump in the road has kind of led me to where I am. I always give people kind of the analogy. There's 2 types of people when you see a speed bump. You've got people that go around it because they don't want to hit the bump and the turbulence of it, and there's people who go right through it.
Yeah.
I ramp that shit. I'm ready for anything. I have built strength for any scenario throughout my journey. So I always say, I'm one of those people that I go right through adversity. I don't shy away from it. I don't go around it. I own it. I sit in it. I absorb it, and it makes me who I am. So I think it's so valuable to really reflect on all life experiences and learn from it. And that is what builds your inner strength and your growth mindset and all these different things that it takes to be at the highest level. Because the air is thin, being the best in the world, it's hard. You can't sit in comfort. If you sit in comfort at this level, you're done. There's too many people chomping at your feet trying to take your spot. There's a giant target on your back. So it's you have to dive into figure out what extra percent you can gain at all times in your journey to continue to grow and stay at the highest level.
Were there any times in your career that you kind of hold most precious for having taught you those kind of lessons? Because you don't become that wise without sort of hitting those hurdles,
Yeah, I think my career has been nothing but adversity. You know, from starting off as a kid and, you know, being in a small town, you know, trying to get out. And, you know, my childhood, like I wasn't the best kid. I didn't make the best decisions. I was super rough around the edges and kind of still am. And it taught me a lot, you know. I was the first kid in my family to attend a college, you know, a very good college. And, you know, I just think back at trying to get out, you know, and I wanted to make something of myself. And, you know, I didn't want to live the financial burden my parents did. And I wanted something more. And that was my inner drive. And people like talk about, oh, what keeps you what keeps you hungry? Like literally, I think back to, you know, not being able to have a lot of things as a kid and seeing like, you know, my parents worked all the time just to like continue to pay for us kids. And I think back to those times and I want to create something better for my family. And not that it was bad, it was hard, you know, it was really hard. And that's what drives me every day. And then I think back to like my college. I was supposed to be this big player in college. You know, the second I step foot on campus, I blow out my knee. And I had, you know, a chance to go in with the full national team at a really young age. And, you know, I came back from one knee and 2 weeks later blew out my other knee. Talk about dark times, talk about reevaluating. Like you've put your whole life into your craft and you got to do some self-reflection. Like what does this look like? Like, are you going to be able to even play the same after all of this? And I battled some really dark times and became addicted to a lot of different things during that time. And, you know, you're only an average of the 7 people you surround yourself with. And I surrounded myself with really, really important people. And they called me on my shit 24/7, held me accountable. And when I needed to cry, you know, when I needed pity, like they gave me a reality check and they helped me dive in. I worked with sports psychologists and therapists, and like I pulled myself out of like a really, really dark time, and it built a lot of like character, and it built a lot of strength that I needed to go through in order to appreciate like this game is special. And I need to be grateful every day I step out on the field that I can, you know, give myself to the game and give myself to my teammates and give myself to my fans, because it's easy to just not be grateful for the time you spend on the field and the people you spend it with, and all that stuff came crumbling down so quickly. And, you know, I dug in. I needed to figure out everything, how I treated my body, the sleep I was getting, what I was putting in my body, what was my strength, you know, component, was I not getting enough rest? I reevaluated everything, and you know, I put my head down and I dug in and I sat in suffering and I owned that suffering, and you know, I'm a better person because of it. So there's a lot of things that drive me, that, you know, my life experiences, it's a quick reminder of why to keep going and why it's important to keep going.
Just incredible to get that insight into, you know, a snippet of what you've been through. Fast forward and you've got 2 World Cup medals, so like it's amazing sort of symbol of, you know, that with the bad times comes incredible good. Which one's most special out of the 2?
Gosh, I mean, they're both so special. Like really, really, they're so special. I guess I would say this last one was really, really important for not only myself, but for this team and this country. It wasn't necessarily that it's more special because we won. It's the way we won.
Mm.
And it's the way we carried ourselves and the way we shifted, you know, our culture and how people viewed women's football, and, you know, our fight for equality and social justice. And I feel like for the first time, this team in 2019 stood for something bigger than the game, stood for something bigger than the game. And I think that is the important factor to take away from this championship is, you know, this team is paving the way for change and women's football and across all industries. And it's not easy, and it hasn't been easy, and a lot of time and money and sacrifice has gone into it. And we still continue to show up, and we still continue to win. And that's a testament to the women on this team. And I'm super proud to be a part of that. I'm grateful to be a part of it. And I'm proud, like, of these women, and, you know, not just worrying about what they're accomplishing on the field, but really trying to transform, you know, this culture of how people view women in general.
It definitely seemed like a bit of a watershed moment for women's football as a whole. Did it feel like that from your perspective?
Yeah, we were just like owning the stage and just owning our stories, and everyone was fighting, you know, we had moms on the team, you know, like Megan Rapinoe fighting for, like, you know, social justice and equity, pay equity, and all these different things. It just felt like it gave everyone a voice, and it made everyone feel like their stories mattered. And it created this unbelievable bond and culture within the group that you could feel our power and our vibe. Once we hit that vibe and we were just like owning everything, there was no turning back. Like, I don't think anything could have shook like that bond that we had and that groove we got into. And then when we started talking, people were listening, and like gained this unreal platform. I mean, it's like a storybook, you know, like when I think back to it, I'm like, wow, that was pretty incredible.
Did you know going into that tournament of how much of a watershed moment it was going to be?
No, I really didn't. I had no idea how it was going to unfold. I just knew we were putting like so much into playing, and all of a sudden, like, you know, things came out about Megan Rapinoe and President Trump, and then it was just like, we kind of just like buffed our chest up, and we were like, I'm supporting you, you're a mom, I'm going to stand for you and what, like, you represent. Pino, I'm going to stand for what you represent. LGBTQ, like, I'm going to, like, everyone was just in. And then once that hit, it was just like a snowball that kept picking up more momentum and more momentum. And then the rest was history. It was like we dialed in at the right time, and nothing was going to stop us at that point.
I think you could really tell that as well, based on your celebrations after, and just seeing that team spirit literally right throughout the whole period of that tournament and after. And it was so refreshing to see it, and how close you could tell, like, how close you guys were, and what you brought to the game, and what you changed the game for the better as well, I think.
Yeah, I think because we were talking, I spoke about it before, but we were literally like, look at Ashlyn Harris' story, because this is how the world should enjoy this whole moment, and like, this is how football celebration should be shown. Like, it was like elite professional, but it was punk as you like, and it was just so refreshing, really.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think, like, sometimes people have this assumption of women and women in sport, and like, they just didn't see women doing those things and being able to party and multitask and like stand for something but still be really good at their job. So I think I couldn't believe how many people were watching, and like, it just went viral everywhere. But it was like so shocking to people. But I'm like, this is us. Like, we've got personalities. We've got, like, the Ashlyn Harris who plays soccer is that's my job, but like there's more substance to her off the field, and it brought everyone in, and it gave everyone the understanding of like, they can win and have fun. This is fucking awesome, right? So I think like that was the really defining moment. And once people got on board, there was no stopping me. I had my camera for everything. I was like, I'm going to document all of this, the crazy flight. I mean, I felt like, honestly, at one point when we were on the flight home on a private jet, we had giant bottles of Ace. We're all shooting. Like, I literally felt like a rapper at one point. I was like, this is hilarious. No one was sleeping. We were flying city to city for this parade, this SB award, walking off of flights dressed in black tie to go to events, haven't slept in 3. I mean, we were literally living like rock stars. Like, it was exhausting. I was like, no wonder I'm an athlete. I cannot even handle this. Like, I am not Dennis Rodman. I can't function. So it's interesting, but I love the fact that everyone got to see like what it's like, you know, like, and how cool it was, and you know, how special it was, and how we can do our job and party hard and have fun and be a little reckless. So I thought it was good and tasteful. And I'm not even a big drinker, and everyone thought I was hammered the whole time, which is the running joke for the entire team, is I'm not a big drinker. So I was just documenting everything, and people thought I was hammered, but I really wasn't.
No, it was wicked. It was so good. It was proper like fly on the shoulder, and it was like all the celebrations that you deserve.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about the flight in particular, and you think so much has happened since then. Obviously, you personally getting married, and winning a World Cup, and like monumental moments. Like after that, like I don't know if it's the right word, but it must be like one hell of a come down back to reality after you've done such amazing things like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially when you think of 2019, to have that year, to have my wedding at the end of the year, to bring everyone into Miami and like have such a good time. And, you know, January 1 hit, and I feel like ever since 2020 hit, it's just been devastation. So, you know, it's been a heavy year, you know, like between, you know, Kobe and, you know, this going on, like, I'm like, damn, man, what's next, right? And all the destruction going on, you know, like fires, and it's just been like the planet, everything's been spinning. So it's been like a weird, tough year. And yeah, coming off of 2019, like at the height of everything, it's like I feel like been cut off at my feet, and like you got to really sit back and appreciate that time, and you know, appreciate like life itself, and how at any moment things could take a turn. So you really need to live in the now. So I guess that's like been my biggest learning lesson for 2020. It's like things can change very quickly, and like, are you living in the moment and enjoying it every single day? Because nothing is guaranteed, and you're not granted life. Like I'm on borrowed time, mate. Like I'm trying to live in the moment.
Quite clearly, based on your outfit today, you're absolutely right on the money when it comes to fashion. You're smashing it, mate.
Thanks.
Is that something that you have a keen interest in? Is that something that you want to explore maybe off the pitch later on down the line?
Yeah, you know, so like creating is something I really love. Like I love just creating new looks and reinventing. Like I just like to reinvent myself a little bit, and I love anything in all fashion, and I dabble in everything. I can do punk, I can do hip hop, I can do chic. Hell, I even, you know, I've been watching this show. I'm gonna start dabbling in drag here pretty soon. It's like I just love reinventing myself, and I've had short hair, and I've had long hair, I've had blonde, pink, platinum, purple. Like I just love it. It gives me energy. It makes me vibe. Fashion is such a beautiful thing because it really changes the way I feel. Like when I put clothes on, it really affects my mood, you know? Like if I'm just not taking care of myself, it really affects my mental state. So I really enjoy, and I take pride in what I look like and what I put together. And it's important because it makes me feel better, and it gives me a better like outlook. And it, you know, I really, really do enjoy fashion, and hopefully when things die down, I can put a little bit more energy into it and figure out, you know, what that looks like. But there's so many things right now I want to dabble in. Like I've been thinking about, you know, getting into acting. Like I love being in front of the camera, and I don't know, I love a challenge. And it's, you know, those two things, acting and fashion, is something like I want to dive into in the next, you know, few years and see where that leads me.
I want to ask about meeting Anna Wintour. What was that like?
She is a G. I'm obsessed. She's like really chic. I like can't even tell you, like I like freaking blocked out. She's so vibey. She like always has her glasses on, you know, like she's just a staple and such a legend. I hope like I can leave that type of legacy behind, you know, like she really is something special. And I've had the privilege of talking on a panel in front of her, and she like really vibed off of what I had to say about what it takes to be like elite and special. And, you know, I don't know. I hope at one point we can work together. But yeah, she's really cool, and she's really just super sweet. And yeah, we've definitely are starting to build like some type of relationship. I've done a lot with Vogue lately and Condé Nast, and you know, built a small community over there, and I love working with them. And I love, you know, how they highlight the LGBTQ community, and that's important to me. So yeah, it was incredible to meet her and open up to her about the importance of visibility for our community. So it's cool.
A massive thanks for your time, and yeah, just keep smashing it. We've got so much respect for what you're doing, so yeah, just keep at it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on, you guys. I hope you're safe and healthy, and families are healthy and healthy.
Keep in touch.
Yeah, you guys.
As well. I'm coming for that tattoo.
Yes, you guys. It's coming soon, so I'll let you know.
Nice one.
Right. Have a good one.